welcome back to Lynn's Kitchen. Today I want to show you how to make a probiotic cultured butter. Make your own butter. I've got double cream, heavy cream in the US, double cream in the UK. 600ml pot, I've got 2 of those. And you also need some form of probiotic to culture the cream. So I've got a few choices here. I have my yoghurt that I made recently. I have some live culture yoghurt. This is a brand that I've been using for years and very successful for making Greek yoghurt with. And I have some homemade kefir, which is what I'm mainly using today to culture the butter, because for one thing it doesn't need to be cultured at a temperature higher than room temperature. It's a mesophilic culture and doesn't need heat. But I also thought I'd add some of the reuteroi to it as well. Reuteroi does need a bit of heat, up to body heat, but we're not looking for a therapeutic dose. We just want to add a bit of reuteroi into the butter. So I'll be using some kefir and some reuteroi. So I have my bowl, my whisk, cup measure, my cream. So I've decided I'm going to use kefir and probably want maybe a cup, 3/4 of a cup. And some of my reuteroi. I'm gonna probably, it's quite thick on the top there where the cream is settled, so I'm just going to take some from underneath actually, and that way that will have a lot of the probiotic in it. Okay, so we just mix that round together, and then I'm going to add the cream. $600ml, another 600ml, so that's 1.2 litres of cream. Give it a stir, and that's all you need to do to get this started. So what I'm going to do now is put this away into just a place where it can just sit. It now needs to ferment for 2 days. So microwave is a good place to hide it because nothing will get in there. It will keep the dust off and it will keep it at a relatively stable temperature. I'm just going to pop it into my microwave. We will come back to that in 2 days. Okay, we're back to making our butter. This has been sat in my microwave for 2 days, covered up. Let's have a look, see what this looks like. Okay, this is, sometimes it sets up more than this. This is got a bit of movement in it. Oh, actually it is very thick. It's very thick. You could actually use this as sour cream, but we're going to make lovely butter with it. So I'm going to start it off by mixing it in my stand mixer, and then as it gets towards the end I'll transfer it over to my hand mixer so that you can see how the cream will eventually separate out from the whey so that it forms butter. So we're going to, it's going to take a few minutes. I'll pop it in here. It's quite noisy, so I'll mute the video and speed it up so that you don't have to sit there watching it for ages while it does its thing. Transfer the cream into this bowl. Oh, look how amazing that is. Incredible. I might save a bit of that and use it as sour cream later. Oh, gosh. Right, some sour cream for later. Put that away. We're going to now get the stand mixer set up. And I'll mute the video now, but we'll just let this run until this thickens up. Just starting to break up now. Right, I think that's just starting to break. So what I'm going to do is transfer this. Yeah, it is just starting to separate. So this is like over whipped cream, basically. This is what you usually try to avoid when you're whipping cream. This is what we want. So now I'm going to transfer this to my hand mixer so that we can see the process of how this finally breaks up. And I'll just swap to another camera to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to carry on mixing this. You can just about see where the whey is really starting to separate from the butter. Just carry on for a moment more. I can feel that the butter's starting to become more solid as the juices are moving through it. So we're almost at the point where we can now gather this up and then wash the whey off of it. I think we're there. Let's have a look. These never want to release. Great. Okay. Now I'm just so now I'm just going to so you can see when I'm lifting lovely butter with the whey in the bottom. So I'm just gathering the butter together into a ball, and we'll get some cold water to wash that off. So our butter's mixed, looking absolutely amazing. So now I've got a bowl of cold water here with ice cubes in it, because this butter is at room temperature, so it's very soft. We need to drain the whey from it and get it into this cold water to chill it, so that we can then wash any remaining whey off of it and add some salt and shake it, and then we'll refrigerate it. So that goes in there. Get your remaining bits out. Right, so now I'm going to pat this down in the water together. And what I'll do, my hands are clean, I have just washed them. I'm going to go in and just start spreading this out. Just push all that together. I can feel it firming up quite nicely. Gather these little bits, we don't want to waste any. Now the whey that we have from the whole process, don't throw that away. It's so good for baking if you want to make pancakes or bread, or even to drink it. You know, remember it's got lovely probiotics in it from the starter that we used the other day, and from the kefir. It was Rooteroy and kefir that we used. So, right, okay, this is getting nice and chilled now. I'll just leave that in there for a moment, just to let that set. And then we'll take it out, pat it dry, and put some salt on it. You can see how cloudy the water's getting as I'm just pressing this out. That's the excess whey coming out of it. Give that a squeeze. In there. Okay. Almost there. Move that out of the way. Just pop this on some kitchen roll. Just pat this dry. Just get some more kitchen roll to pat this out. And that's firming up very nicely. Oops, got a bit of paper on there. Paper's starting to come apart. Okay. Right. Clear this out. Now then, I've got some baking parchment here that I'm now going to pop this onto. We're just going to press it down, press it out a bit, start shaping it into a block. I have a bench scraper here that is quite good for just helping to shape it. Right, now then, next step. We want to salt it. I've got some pink Himalayan salt, and this is it's not in its box, but this is Malden salt flakes. So normally, if I'm just doing 600 ml of cream, I need 1 teaspoon. But as I'm doing 2 lots of 600 ml. I need 2 teaspoons, so we'll have a teaspoon of the Malden flakes. You can use any salt you like, anything you've got. Don't use iodized salt though, because we've gone to the trouble of putting some lovely probiotics into the butter. We don't want to kill them with the iodine. Now, about a teaspoon of the pink. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, a bit like making pastry, I'm going to fold it, press it out, and fold it a few times. So I'm just going to use a rolling pin just to press this out now, like that. Fold it in half again. Press it out, and this is mixing the salt into the butter. A bit like that. I want to work fairly quickly because This did start out at room temperature, and so we want to, if we see any little bits of moisture coming to the surface, you can just quickly dab it to get any water off, and on the paper. Fold this over again. It's quite big now, so I'm going to give this another fold. Press that out. And that salt should be quite well mixed in now. So now we're going to shape it. Press it down, try and press the air bubbles out. Press it down again. And there we have our lovely butter. So I'll just use my bench scraper to just press that into shape nicely. And this amount of cream will make about 700 grams of butter. We've got, oh yes, I took some out to keep as soured cream. So we've actually got 560. So that's equivalent to 2 packs of butter. And I've got some sour cream put to one side. Normally you would get about 700 grams out of 2 pots of cream, but it's a bit less this time because I kept some for sour cream. I'm just gonna portion that up nicely. Use my bench scraper. I'm gonna make this into, I think I'm gonna make this into three blocks. 1, another 2. And I'll just wrap these in some kitchen paper, some parchment paper, and refrigerate them, and they're going to be absolutely delicious on some really nice homemade bread or scones. So I hope you enjoy. Just want to finish up by showing you how much whey we've got left from the butter. So this is the whey going in here. This is the whey from butter always looks much more milky than the whey from yogurt, which is quite clear. So we've got, and bearing in mind this isn't all of the cream because I put some aside, we've got 400 ml of really wonderful homemade buttermilk, which is generally difficult to obtain in any supermarket I've been to. And we've got our 550 grams of butter here, all wrapped up, ready to go in the fridge. So the whey will last in the fridge easily 10 days, 2 weeks. I've kept it as long as 2 weeks for using it. And it's wonderful if you're making pancakes, Yorkshire puddings, bread, pastry, cakes, biscuits. It's absolutely wonderful to use. So that's a bonus. That's an absolute bonus.